Welcome to Mermaid's Magic and Musings, day 5. Alright, so this is a really interesting one because so many different things went wrong. I think I messed up 5 different things through the course of painting, editing, filming, storing this painting. I messed up so many things, but I persevered. And I did that because I really like this painting, actually. I love the concept. I liked the sketch, and I really like the finished product, and I'm so glad that I did keep going through it. But it did give me hell in the process of doing that. The first thing that I did really weird is I filmed it at this kind of off angle. Like, my hand covers up when I'm painting, so you can't see what I'm doing. Thankfully, I saw like the footage, and I was like, no, can't do that. So I learned fairly quickly not to do that, and that I don't like it. But then I also had an issue with, I guess, the color setting on my camera that I used. Or it just ended up on, I don't know. But she looks dead, kind of like a zombie, and I swear I put life in her face. I used pink and orange. Like, she looked like a human. You just can't tell, because I filmed it wrong. But the positive news is, it gets better, because as I progressed through the painting, and progressed through the video, I got better at filming and editing. It's just like, I'm really new to the filming and editing thing, and this was one of the first paintings that I tried to film and edit. So there was a bit of a learning curve, but it got better. It worked out. So I think all those problems came really into naming the painting, and what the painting was about, and generally how I feel about it after all is said and done. I named it Balance and Composure. I'm now aware that there is a band called Balance and Composure. I didn't know that prior to painting it and naming it, but what do you know? The band's kind of cool. I looked it up. It's alright. I vibe with it. So I kind of got this idea for this painting from an old painting that I did like 2 years ago. It's kind of based off of that. At the end of the day, actually, this painting probably looks very much not like that painting at all. And I do that. I like to take old concepts because I find that when I was younger, I would come up with really cool ideas, but I didn't really have the patience or skill level to make those ideas a reality. And sometimes I like to go back and just see how I've excelled or changed or how my artwork has gotten better. It's a cool thing to do, especially if you're feeling down about your art, like you're not excelling as fast as you would like to. If you paint something you did 2 or 3 years ago, or even a couple months ago, I guarantee you'll see a difference. You'll be like, oh, well, actually, never mind. I've gotten better. Because you have. But another interesting thing that I noticed in comparing my old work to my current work is the not only excelling in the physical artwork, but excelling in the way I handled painting the artwork, the way I handled the process. I think a lot of people, when they're just starting out at something, it's easy to think that whenever you get better, you just won't make mistakes anymore. Because a lot of times when you look at people who are much better than you, it looks like they don't make mistakes. It looks like they're perfect. You're like, how you do that? How is that so awesome? Teach me your ways. But I think actually what ends up happening is you just learn how to mediate and work around those mistakes better. Everyone makes mistakes. I still make mistakes. I don't make the same mistakes, but I just learn, when I do make them, how to push through them and work around them easier and smarter. And I definitely saw that in this piece. If I worked on this painting, or if me 2 years ago encountered the mistakes and issues that I encountered through this, I probably would have just given up. I would have been like, is it worth it though? I probably would have felt bad and felt like a failure and then just given up. Speaking of unfortunate errors, I messed up that flower of life behind her head real good. I made like a really wrong mark, and then I tried to fix it, and then I made another really wrong mark, and I tried to fix it again, and then I made it worse. I didn't know that was possible, but I made it worse, and at that point, I just wouldn't touch it. I'm serious, I did not touch that flower of life for like 2 weeks. I was so salty at myself. Now, I'm not sure if I filmed it or not, because the level of, salt I was at that point, I may not have filmed it, but I did end up covering that part where I did the whack line work with white acrylic paint, which did leave a kind of weird texture on the paper, but I will take weird texture on paper over like black line work. We can't carry on that way. It's not okay. So I did end up fixing it after about 2 weeks of me ignoring it. So the next thing that happened that just went awry is the storing portion of this event. I mentioned earlier that something got messed up while I was storing it, and yes, I had to have been maybe 20 minutes from being done with the piece. Like, I had 20 minutes worth of work left, and I just put it to the side for a little bit and took a break, and I put it, I don't know, in a drawer on a shelf or something, and I came back to it, and it just had water spilled all over her face in a nice puddle, and it's watercolors, so all the colors bled into the wet paper on her face, and it was just like, really now? Really now? And I know it was my cat. Cat owners out there know. They will be pulling some magic. They will find things that you didn't know they could find, and they will destroy them. And you will be like, how did you do this? Did you manifest water? I don't get it. But I probably left water somewhere. He probably found it and dumped it on there. I mean, I know it wasn't cat pee, because when something's cat pee, you know it's cat pee, but I don't know where he got the water from, so meh. The bright side was, whenever I got it, it was still wet, so it looked a lot more violent than it actually turned out to be. I was able to get some of the paint out of the paper because it was still wet, and then it ended up a lot more subdued, especially after it dried. It dried lighter. So, all in all, I'm not really mad. I was mad at first, but it kind of fits, because I felt like the general meaning that I was feeling, and I ended up associating with the meaning of this painting, is being emotionally overwhelmed or swept away by circumstances that seem out of your control, and trying to keep centered and keep grounded despite that. Whenever I've actually grown to kind of like the spill over her face, because it reminds me of overthinking and being emotionally overwhelmed in your mind. At least that's the way I've made the situation okay to myself, because I'm totally that person where something happens and I just get totally philosophical, and I'm like, this means the futility of life. Like, I am essentially done for the most part. I am finishing out by putting some iridescent medium over that black background. An iridescent medium is basically glitter in a bottle, and you know how I feel about glitter, so I will put the list of supplies down below and the links down below if you would like to buy it. And that is that. I will be back tomorrow with a new video, of which I haven't prepared for. Ooh. Thank you for watching. Bye.